Hey folks, Phil Gallagher back for Daily Death and Taxes / Legacy Playoffs. Currently 0-2, not feeling too great. Let's see if we can beat Basic Swamp. Looks like we probably have what is going to be a keepable opening hand, even though we do have double Caracas. Opponent last seen on Death Shadow. This is not a great hand versus Death Shadow, if I'm being honest. But it's good enough that I'll keep it. Like, the ability to just, like, wasteland their first land if they just, like, fetch and ponder or fetch and play a threat on turn 1 is pretty darn strong. When back with Ether Vial. I was gonna say it, like, that's the literal perfect draw. So we wasteland them so that we can't get dazed. We take the Delver off the table. Great. Nice, and now we, like, have a use for this Caracas. It gets wastelanded. They're having a good day too, it seems. Okay, so a lot of times versus a Death Shadow Delver deck, in the past you were playing around Dread of Night. Now I assume we're going to be playing around Plague Engineer. Yeah, their last deck list had 2 Plague Engineers in the sideboard. So I will probably want to cut some number of X ones here. So, like, I want this, probably this, probably this, probably these, and maybe even Gideon, and we'll just, like, cut a bunch of our X1 creatures. I will have to decide sort of like which ones and how I want to play this game out in terms of tempo. So my opponent has Ratchet Bombs, Hymns, Liliana's Triumphs, Plague Engineers, Stubborn Denials that could possibly come in. So if we ignore Ratchet Bomb, taking out Revoker is easy. Can take out Thalia on the draw, and then cut 2 other cards and be playing a ton of sort of like nice reactive cards. And some like nice curve toppers at the higher end. I think we're going to be slow but well suited to fighting in this matchup. So how soft is my opponent going to be to Prelate? They have 2 Snuff Outs main deck and 2 Ratchet Bombs and 1, so they're going to have 5 outs to Prelate. It's not bad. My opponent's not playing True Names in their list. I can probably cut either Jitte or Batterskull or Sword of Fire and Ice, like just trim one of my pieces of equipment. And I think I'll trim the Prelate when I'm on the draw. And if we get to a game 3, I might put it back in when I'm on the play. I don't love how soft we are to Wasteland here, but I like the other things that are going on with this hand. Don't Thoughtseize me, then Wasteland me. Don't do it. So, like, now my opponent knows I don't have another white source. Fudge. Alright, we are now playing the game of mutually assured destruction. And we hope our opponent doesn't have another land. Oh my gosh, they don't have another land. Neither do we, though. Alright, here we go. Who rips hotter off the top? Technically me, but, you know, their land's way better. Get out. Get out. Alright. Now we're a heavy favorite. Nope. Still a game of Magic. We're probably a strong favorite now. So, like, my opponent passed the turn without going and getting something else that, like, put pressure into play. So this turn, for example, I can play Mother of Runes, port down their thing so they can't dump a Death Shadow or something into play. And I could even just, like, try to kill them in 9 turns with Mother of Runes. Alright, opponent has done a good job at finding lands. So I'm pretty tempted to not Swords to Plowshares here. And just use my mana more efficiently. Like, I'm not really scared of this Death Shadow right now. It doesn't have Trample. I have a Mother of Runes. And I might be able to set myself up for a 2-for-1. No, my opponent had a Daze from earlier, right? So I guess this was a bad play. Or is it? Like, if I rip land and just, like, slam Gideon onto this board, what do they do? I don't think I want to play a second Mom because it plays into Plague Engineer too hard. I guess the next question is, does my opponent have a basic land? Unsure. The last version they got a result with did not have a basic land. Nice. Am I just gonna start turning this mom sideways and just saying, like, if you have Fatal Push or Snuff out, you can have it, since I have another one? I think I am. Are they really out of fetchables? Their hand just mono land? Yeah, sure. I played into that intentionally. That's fine. Because now I get to Source to Plowshares that. I think I'm just gonna floop this into play. My read on their hand was it was just absolutely full of lands. Oh, that's annoying. You wait until the Delver trigger resolves so that they can't brainstorm in response. That'll be very good a turn or two down the line. So we can play around Liliana's Triumph by porting down now. So now my opponent will get to Liliana's Triumph away my Mother runes, presumably. Due to him to Turok, I am just going to go ahead and play that out. Well, that wasn't in their list before, and that also seems very excessive with Plague Engineer. Alright, do you have yet another Daze? Nope. Take that, Draven Knight. 2-turn clock. So that bounces a creature, which is super, super relevant right now. Notably because I can't bounce this. No, Walking Ballista here is just a 2-2. It cannot laser to the face because of the Null Rod. How many Council's Judgments do I have left? I think I've used one. So that card has no text currently. Great, they drew Gurmak Angler. Give me another Palace Jailer? Or like any removal spell? No. Land doesn't do it. Alright, well that's a really frustrating loss to very narrow sideboard cards. One of which I don't really think should be in their deck. On the play, I should reconsider Sanctum Prelate, but kind of like we saw that last game, like these cards are just so important to my own deck that I don't know that I want to be tripping over my own Prelate here. I'm not super thrilled about this hand, given that my opponent has shown me both Plague Engineer and Dread of Night. But I think just keeping a mana-heavy hand when I'm on the play is probably acceptable. My opponent is mulligan to 5. So we will be wastelanding any non-basic that my opponent plays in all likelihood. Alright, well that's a great thing to mulligan towards. My opponent plays a creature here. I'm very likely to actually just Council's Judgment away the Dread of Night and chump block creatures for a few turns with, like, Recruiter of the Guards. Stop that. Daze really sucks here. Alright. So I take one of them out like that. I get to effectively take the other one out via Gideon. I have a removal spell lined up. Yeah, you as a 2/2 don't scare me. The second creature is slightly scary. I just gonna start trying to ride Palace Jailer now, or do I want to set up some stuff with Recruiter first? So I think I'm going to, again, not play around Daze specifically. We'll junk the Delver here, and then chump block this Death Shadow into Oblivion. These human knights? No, knight allies. If I just play Recruiter, the body does nothing. I think I need to take a body off the table. Probably has to be the Plague Engineer. Oh, this is one of the most insane mulligans to 5 I've ever seen in terms of, like, specific hate cards for a matchup. Can play Snuff Out and Wall the Death's Shadow. But I need to take the Delvers off the table. Those are the things that provide the most immediate threat. So that happens like this. So if an opponent sees the Snuff Out their own creature line, I die. Yep, alright. Well, that's that. We have not had a good challenge here. I'm going to go ahead and drop from this. And for the other 2 days of daily D&T this week, I'll just play some league matches with the same deck.